Samuel Adams, Old Fezziwig, made by Boston Beer Company out of Boston, Massachusetts. 5.9% alcohol. Let's give it a shot. I never even heard of this beer, and I saw it on the shelf, and I was somewhat intrigued, but somewhat not. But let me just give you a brief rundown of the description here. Rich and sweet, bursting with flavors of spices of the season, deep malt characters with notes of sweet toffee and dark caramel. There's a lot going on here. It's a Christmas beer. Let's put it that way. It's a dark beer. It says it's brewed with cinnamon, ginger, and orange peel. You do get a lot of that prior description, though, that dark caramel and toffee. But there is a lot of cinnamon. There's some spices there. I'm not getting a whole lot of orange peel or ginger. Maybe the ginger's in there somewhere. But this is a Christmas beer. It's dark. It's an ale. Just a lot of flavor going on. But again, I'm sticking to that. It's almost like as it said, dark caramel, or almost like a slightly burnt caramel flavor I'm getting from it. And that might be the toffee mixing in. Or maybe there's some slightly roasted coffee notes that I'm tasting that's kind of giving me this perception. And I'd like to say that if I knew that this was a Christmas beer prior to trying this beer, which I was not aware of that, I probably would have enjoyed it more. However, if I would have pushed this off another month to mid-December, where it's cold outside, I got the fire going, I'm bundled up every night when I get home, sitting on the couch, this would probably be a really nice beer. And that's what I'm going to recommend it to. And I'm going to say steer clear of this until you're sitting in front of a fire with some PJs on, maybe some slippers. Maybe it's flurrying outside. This would be a nice beer for that. I could really see the flavor notes really coming out, sitting next to a warm fire, kind of, bundled up. The toffee, the dark caramel, the cinnamon, I could see all of that being very pleasant. In this beer, for the time frame, this is one of those beers I think the time frame is crucial on when you drink it. But that aside, going back to the beer, it's a nice beer. It's a heavy beer. It's a dark beer. It's an ale. You do get a little bit of an ale bite at the end of it. The cinnamon, I'm tasting the toffee. I taste the dark caramel, but it slightly leans towards that burnt caramel side, as I was saying. I could see drinking 2 or 3 of these. It seems it's only 5.9% alcohol, but it feels heavier. It feels more weighted, if I can say that. Clearly meant for Christmas or winter month drinking. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give this a 7. I want to say 6, but I feel like I need to revisit this one. I need to come back in maybe a month, maybe 2 months, and try this one more time and kind of have the right mindset. But if you're not expecting it, this isn't an imperial beer, but it kind of gives you that idea that it could be, just by how explosive and overwhelming the flavor notes are in this beer. It overwhelms the ale. It really does. But I don't want to use that in a bad way. I just think it has this weird kind of burnt, kind of either coffee or caramel effect to it. I'm tasting like a roasted coffee with caramel. But again, it is a dark caramel. It's that overly sticky, sitting in a pot, getting coagulating and just a nightmare for your Brillo pad to get off kind of flavor. I hope you can imagine that like I'm imagining it. If not, I look like an idiot. Other than that, if you're interested in trying a Sam Adams product that either you've heard of before and you know it's good, or you've never heard of before like me and I have no idea what I'm expecting, well, this is your guy. The Old Fezziwig, Rich Sweet by Sam Adams, Boston Beer Company out of Boston, Massachusetts. 5.9% alcohol.